Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well. I wanted to share a couple of quick stories with you. I share these stories so that we can hopefully learn together. More importantly, we can get the elephant out of the room with what's going on with a lot of these stories. Most of these stories affect many of you or family members. So I just want you to listen to the logic of the progression here of the thought process and these conversations that I have with people, because a lot of times the answer to what's going on is right in front of you. So let me just start off with my ex-mother-in-law. I find out that she's been having some real digestion issues, and I obviously I don't keep in touch with them, but I find out that she's recently had her gallbladder removed. So I got in touch with my ex-wife Jody and started asking, what's going on there, and she started to explain to me what's happening, what was going on, and what led up to the gallbladder removal. And turns out this is a person who is drinking 3, 4, 5, 6 Diet Cokes a day, sucking on sugar-free candy all day long. Now, what that does to your gut, because the issues that she was having really had to do with having to release her bowels almost uncontrollably from time to time. Now, she's 80 years old, but I assure you that this is exactly what I would expect from the overuse of artificial sweeteners. I know that for a fact because I've dealt with hundreds of people over 15 years and have talked about what artificial sweeteners do to your gut. More importantly, this is a woman who's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease after she had her gallbladder removed, which at the end of the day, had we just followed the signals that the body has been sending her for the past couple of years, she could have easily saved her gallbladder. Nevertheless, she was under the assumption that she needs to follow a low-fat diet. Now, what is your brain mostly made of? It's made mostly of water and fat. Do you think somebody who has Alzheimer's disease, do you think that that's a good idea that she follow a low-fat diet? Probably not, right? Now, the reason why people are under this assumption following a low-fat diet after having their gallbladder removed is because the gallbladder releases bile into the duodenum, which helps emulsify fat. But when you get your gallbladder removed, the surgery, the bile is actually produced in your liver, and there's a connection made between your liver and your duodenum through a common bile duct, so that there's a steady leakage into the duodenum. Now, I am not saying that there isn't some compromise, perhaps, emulsifying fat, but you also have pancreatic enzymes which help digest fat as well. In this case, it's lipase is the main pancreatic enzyme that's released for fat. Now, can we better support fat? Absolutely, everybody. We can better support fat absorption by taking pancreatic enzymes and by making sure that we support our liver health, our stomach. These are all things that can be done and need to be done with people with bigger diseases that they're suffering from, with things like Alzheimer's. Without those omega-3s, without the healthy fats in the body and in the brain, this is somebody who's going to suffer even more terribly than having the gallbladder removed. So these types of things need to be talked about and addressed. I can't tell you how many times over the past 2 weeks I have had blood pressure things come up, and I'm talking monster blood pressure. And if you don't believe me, please ask me. I will show you the text. I save all these texts because I love when people think that I'm making shit up. I save texts so that people can see what's actually going on. In the past 2 weeks, I got 3 texts of people that have blood pressures in the 180s, 190s over 110, 105, things of this nature. 180 over 105, 190 over 110. First of all, why is blood pressure high? Why does it get high? Well, most of the time your blood pressure is high because you have 50, 60 pounds to lose. Your body weight goes up, your blood pressure is going to get high. Why? Because you need to push more blood through your body. So just understand that your body's always responding to an environment. If you're too heavy, your body's going to respond and go, okay, we need more pressure to go through this body to pump this blood. Do you think it's a good idea to lower that blood pressure when you're 50, 60 pounds overweight? I would argue, no, it's not. Your body's actually responding to the demand. More importantly, blood pressure also gets high when your blood is thick. How does blood get thick? Well, two main ways. One is you're dehydrated. Two is you have type 2 diabetes, and that's what I want to go into now. When you have too much circulating blood sugar in your bloodstream, blood gets thick, and that will raise your blood pressure along with dehydration, along with being overweight. Well, who has high blood sugar? 4 out of 5 people. That's what the statistics say now, that 4 out of 5 people are walking around with type 2 diabetes. I'm at a point now that when I coach people, one of the first things I make them do is I make them take their fasted blood sugar levels. And guess what? About 4 out of 5 of them have blood sugar 115 or higher. And that has to be the first thing that gets addressed before we even talk about how we're going to lose weight. We have to get blood sugar under control. Why? Because insulin's a hormone, and if we don't get insulin under control and get it doing what it's supposed to do, then we're in trouble. Remember, blood sugar is a symptom. It's a symptom of something else. It's a symptom of what? It's a symptom of insulin resistance. Just like blood pressure is a symptom of something else. Thick blood, high body weight, etc. We have to take the elephants out of the room before you start downing your medication, because you're only putting a Band-Aid on the much bigger problem. Similarly, how many times in the past 2 weeks have I had people complain about being either dizzy or muscle cramps or having migraines? The first thing I ask them is, tell me the truth. How much water did you drink today, and are you taking your magnesium at night? How many of them do you think say, I have not been drinking water, and darn it, I haven't been taking my magnesium? Okay, it's 100%. It's 100% certainty that people that complain about muscle cramping and this unusual dizziness or fatigue, it rarely has to do with the fact that they didn't eat, and much more with the fact that they didn't drink water and they're not taking their magnesium supplements at night. You could go back and listen to the last time Jordan and I spoke. We were at the Banya, and Jordan went on a very long rant about the importance of magnesium in the body. And if you're not convinced by the end of that, I don't know what else to tell you. Finally, very interesting, I spoke to a mother today for about 45 minutes. Her daughter's suffering from Lyme's disease. I'm going to make this very quick. She's suffering from Lyme's disease, has been to all these experts about all these things, blah, 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 blah. One of the things that she can't get rid of is her dizziness. So I asked her a whole bunch of questions. As it turns out, she has really bad sinus issues. And I said to her, that is your issue, I promise you. And I explained to her that when your sinuses are extremely congested, they tend to be more congested on one side than the other. When they're congested more on one side, guess what happens? It puts pressure behind your eye and into your inner ear, which is your vestibular system. And sure enough, she's getting dizzy spells. Those dizzy spells are from the congestion, which affect the inner ear, which affect your vestibular system, which makes you feel dizzy. The big thing that she was complaining about isn't just the fact that she was getting dizzy, but it was her neck stiffness. She got in touch with me because she wanted me to work on her neck. I said, honestly, I could make her neck feel better for a day, maybe, but if you want to get the elephant out of the room, fix your daughter's sinuses problems, because her neck is getting stiff because she feels dizzy all the time. The body's in constant trepidation of being off balance, so the muscles in the neck get real stiff, real rigid, because you don't want to turn your head left and right. I just tell the people the truth. I told the woman, don't even bother coming in. Don't even bother paying me your money. Go get her sinuses fixed. I sent her links to a top doctor in New York City who does a phenomenal procedure on leaving sinuses, and that's how it should be, everybody. Let's get to the elephant in the room. Let's take it out, and let's get healthier. Let's get better at what we're doing. All right, everybody, have a good day.